What's up, guys? Welcome back to TheReviewSpace, and this is going to be my Raw review for Monday, the 2nd of 2012, the very first Monday Night Raw of the year. Alright, well, so let's begin. Okay, so the show started off with John Cena coming in, he cuts a promo, and you know what, I did, gotta be honest, I didn't even really pay attention to this one. I think I skipped it, so let's move on. Cody Rhodes against Daniel Bryan is the very first match of this Raw. Okay, so it's kind of a strange thing that you have the World Champion going up against the IC Champion, and the thing with my problem with SmackDown Superstars appearing on Raw and this whole Raw Super Show thing is that there's no storyline. There's no focus or emphasis on what's going on in SmackDown. They just sort of have these SmackDown stars, and then they have a match, but we don't hear them cut promos that often. We don't really see a focus on the SmackDown storytelling. So anyway, Daniel Bryan, he wins by a really quick roll-up here, and it's funny, he was able to defeat Cody Rhodes. I believe that Cody has defeated Daniel just right before Daniel cashed in the Money in the Bank. So I think this was, again, that WWE way of like even Stevens, that you win one, and then I win one, and then you win one, and then, you know, that very kind of, it's terrible. I think that seesaw mentality, that very, that's how they keep these wrestlers down. That's how they keep these wrestlers medium level. So nobody really stands out that much, with the exception of maybe a couple. Yes, after the end of the match, when Daniel, he got his belt, he was clutching his belt and he was celebrating, and he was saying, yes, 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 the whole time. He was just repeatedly, saying the yes. It was almost obnoxious. I kind of like that. It kind of gave him a personality. I would actually like to see Daniel Bryan as a very pretentious, obnoxious guy, almost like a really annoying babyface, to the point that, he's kind of irritating. So it just makes him more interesting. I don't want Daniel Bryan to be this vanilla midget. I don't want him to be this very plain technician that has no charisma. I want him to have a personality. I want him to have at least something that will get the fans to notice him. Alright. Okay, so we have a Miz and John Laureanitis segment backstage, and Miz was basically asking for protection or whatever against R-Truth, because R-Truth jumped him. And then when Miz was walking away, there was a couple of segments, a couple of times when he would walk away from off camera, and then R-Truth would reappear. He would reemerge from, like, the shadows or whatever, and he kind of has like this stalker, presence about him, and it was just kind of creepy and kind of weird. And he did that little chicken thing, and he was like, "Bakak!" or whatever it was, and I thought it was just kind of strange. It was really awkward in a funny, weird kind of way. Okay, okay, we got Wade Barrett and Santino Marella. They have a promo together in ring. Wade Barrett was cutting his promo, and he's really good in the mic, and when he was cutting this promo, it really made me notice him. It really made me go, yeah, this guy is the next champion. Because he talks like a champion, he looks like a champ. This guy is a star. He's a future main eventer. Let's see. So Santino interrupts him, and Santino does his funny bit. Santino's great. He's great on the mic, can cut a really funny promo. He's hilarious. And he talked about the bringing his Barrett garage, and just absolutely, he's very funny. He's very charismatic. Santino's just hilarious. They have a match together, so Wade against Santino. Wade definitely defeats him. There's just no way that, Santino was going to score a win. Wade uses his winds of change, kind of a black hole slam type of finishing move, spinning sidewalk slam kind of move, and he easily defeats Santino, though, so no big deal for Wade. Alright, next up we had Sheamus against Miz. Okay, they have a match. This one was basically Sheamus. He looked very dominant in this match, and there was a Miz, the moment where Miz was basically trying to escape. he tried to walk into the crowd, try to, maybe catch a breather, or, maybe try to just walk away from this match. R-Truth's voice, though, you can hear R-Truth talking. He interrupts the match from the crowd. And he's like, blah, 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 something about little Jimmy, and he says, you're gonna get got, and he was just doing his funny, wacko, crazy R-Truth gimmick, and it was just very, very entertaining, to say the least. And Miz, he heads back into the ringside. He gets attacked by Sheamus. Sheamus hits him with a bro kick. Blow! And R-Truth goes up to Miz. He actually took a bottled water, and he smacks Miz on the head, and he just left him lying there. And so Miz got, I'm sizzling, and R-Truth, he's just very entertaining on the mic. I think that the crowd, he really got over well with this particular crowd. Okay. Alright, what else we got here? Dolph Ziggler. Okay, so we have a backstage interview segment with Dolph Ziggler. He was doing a headstand. So he's doing his little show-off. He's a show-off, the Dolph Ziggler. I don't know, I mean, it's a headstand. I mean, I can do a headstand. I do headstands all the time, so it's not really, every time I work out, every time I do calisthenics, he cuts a really good promo, though. That's what I noticed, is that he's a very good mic worker. He's somewhat underrated on the mic, actually. Not a lot of people say or talk about his mic skills. He's pretty good. He's up there with guys like maybe Cody Rhodes. I think that he's got this... He's very fluid on the mic. He's very fluid. He can actually cut a very good promo. And if he gets enough time to speak, let him just run on the mic and let him speak his mind, he could definitely be one of those guys who are just to have the whole total package. Alright, so we have another segment. John Laureanitis. He interrupts Jack Swagger and Zack Ryder. They were kind of having this little, back and forth kind of thing. And then John Laureanitis, he announces a 3-man tag match, elimination match for the main event. And it's going to be against, Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, and Kane against John Cena, Ryder, and Big Show. Okay. So Dolph Ziggler and CM Punk. This is one of the featured matches. So this is going to be for the WWE Championship. Okay, this match in particular was it was a decent match. I mean, it was definitely watchable because Dolph Ziggler's in it and CM Punk, and it was definitely a faster paced match. It was very good. A lot of wrestling here. It felt like a really good wrestling match. It was just nice to see the two guys who can actually work and, pull some really good moves and just kind of be technical and have these, have a really good athletic type of match. Okay, so Johnny Ace, he distracts CM Punk, and then he pulls the ropes down, which indirectly throws CM Punk out of the ring. So it looked like, CM Punk, he was kind of injured, and he wasn't injured, but he was just like kind of writhing, ringside, and then Dolph Ziggler, he wins this match by countout. He wins. The referee counts to 10, and blow! Dolph Ziggler takes the win. And for the second week, it seems, in a row, Dolph Ziggler takes the WWE Championship, he takes the WWE belt, and runs off with it from the arena, from the ring. And, CM Punk is just kind of sitting there in the middle of the ring like, oh, what just happened? He just this very disappointed look on his, on his face, and he was just like, man, what I'm saying? Dolph Ziggler got one over me again, and, it's all because of Johnny Ace. Johnny Ace and CM Punk. Are we going to see a match between these two sometime in the future? Is this a match? Could this be a WrestleMania match? I don't know, but we'll see, Okay. Divas tag match. Okay, this is sort of the filler match. This is the second last match. Basically a pee break for everybody in the arena. Actually, Eve is actually not bad. I actually like Eve. Her work in the ring. She does a really good moonsault, which I think is the highlight of her matches. She's very athletic. So I appreciate that. Every time she does that moonsault, I'm very impressed. I mark out to that every time. It's very beautiful. It's actually, how many wrestlers do a moonsault these days, you know? But the Bella Twins win. It was actually a tag match. The Bella Twins versus Eve and Kelly Kelly. And maybe not a match that everybody wanted to really, you know, kind of pay attention to. The Bella Twins win, but I didn't really care for the result, you know. Okay, what else we got? Okay, so this time, now we get this promo, this 2-1-12 promo, January 1st, 2012. This is the highly anticipated, whatever this is, somebody's going to come back, somebody's going to return. So, they air this promo, and then this girl and this little kid in this room, this classroom, they had a little girl in there, and blah blah blah, something about she, and you know. And then the lights go off in the arena. The lights dim. At first, you know, I thought it was. I gotta be honest. I had a small feeling, a sinking feeling that it was gonna be Undertaker. You know, I was like, oh man, it's, you know, I was like, if this is Taker, if this is Undertaker again, I don't care anymore. Like, I don't even care about WWE anymore. Like, I'm just gonna stop caring, because if it's Taker again, then it gets way too repetitive. You know, how many times has Taker returned in this fashion? But no. Lights go off, it's completely dark. You can see at the front of the stage some lights, and it looks like the outline of a person with his back turned, holding his hands high. And it's basically the pose of Y2J. That's right, it's Chris Jericho comes back. Oh snap! Break the walls down. Chris Jericho, ladies and gentlemen, has returned to WWE, apparently. Okay, so Chris Jericho comes out, and he has his jacket with flashing lights and everything, looking like a retro 80s throwback glam rocker, you know. Okay, so this is what interests me the most. For the next 15 minutes or so, Chris Jericho does not say a word. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything. He grabs the microphone from ringside. He looks like he's about to say something in the middle of the ring, and every time he does it, he's about to say something, he stops, he looks around the crowd, the arena, the fans, and he starts pandering. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jericho started pandering to the crowd, and everybody was eating it up. This arena, these fans were just chanting his name and Y2J and welcome back, and everybody was just really excited, it seemed. But that only went on for so long. You see, it seemed like it went on forever, and Chris Jericho just kept doing this, to the point that it seemed like he was just patronizing the crowd. He was just mocking the crowd almost. He never said a word, except maybe, well, he yelled something off the mic. He said something like, "Yeah, baby," or whatever. And it was a very, very intriguing moment. In my opinion, this entire segment was worth watching. It was a great segment. And I'll tell you why. It was great because it seemed like at first Chris Jericho he's a babyface, and he's, oh, I'm back, and everybody, yay, and I'm definitely, you're pointing to the crowd and pandering, and everybody, look at me, I'm back, and how's it going, everybody? And then it just kept going and going until it seemed like Chris Jericho was just, wow, what's this guy doing? He's not saying anything. And it seemed like he was mocking the crowd. He was pandering. He was trolling the crowd for reaction. And then eventually he started to walk backstage. He was heading to the back, and he got up to the ramp, and the crowd started booing him. The crowd, ladies and gentlemen, booed Chris Jericho. Boo! Thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down. Off the arena. They booed the living crap out of Chris Jericho. You know what I mean? And it was a great segment. I dug it. The fact that Chris Jericho did not have to say a single word, and learning using what he learned from his previous work, from his work in places like Japan and Mexico and in the Indies. Chris Jericho, he's such a veteran. He knows how to get reaction from a crowd. That was amazing. I enjoyed it. It was awesome. Chris Jericho, welcome back. Hopefully you're a complete heel, a complete villain. Awesome. Alright. After that long segment, but very memorable segment, we have the 3-on-2 elimination handy. That's right, this was a 3-on-2. This wasn't a 3-on-3 because Kane decided to, no, I'm not going to have this match. Kane decided to basically not be, a participant in this match. So basically it was just Jack Swagger, Mark Henry left to fend for themselves in this, elimination handicap match. Okay, so Big Show, he ends up taking out Mark Henry, and then both of them were basically disqualified or whatever. Jack Swagger was... Okay, so it was Cena and Zack Ryder against Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger, he eats a attitude adjustment, and then Cena gets the pinfall. So Cena and Zack Ryder take this match. They get the win. Alright, so the good guys, the baby faces, the heroes win this match. Okay, so then Kane, wow, comes out. His music, he doesn't come out, his music, his pyro hits, I should say, and then his music and everything. So Cena, he gets ready. He goes to the ringside, he's waiting for Kane, and then Kane attacks Zack Ryder, who's still inside the ring. Okay, so Kane, and then he goes after John Cena, he's choking him at ringside, and then Kane attacks Zack Ryder. It looks like he's gonna pull him underneath the ring. He does his old school Kane thing. He came out from under the ring. I forgot to mention. Basically, he tries to pull what's his face, Zack Ryder. I thought this entire segment. I felt like this entire segment was very. I didn't like it that much. I kind of felt like it wasn't very intriguing to me. It seemed like Kane was doing his old school villain. We've seen this before from Kane. It didn't feel fresh, is what I meant to say. It didn't feel like, oh wow, this is an amazing storyline. It just seemed very, very typical, 1998, 1999 type of booking where, Kane is the monster and he's pulling people underneath the ring, and then fire came out from underneath the hole where Kane came out of. Cena eventually saves, what's his face? Zack Ryder. I keep saying what's his face. I keep forgetting Zack Ryder name. It has to click with me. That Zack Ryder, Zack Ryder, U.S. champion. I'm going off on a tangent here, guys. Jeez. It's just, I'm sorry, but this segment was just really, really lackluster. I didn't feel very drawn in by this segment, But I actually thought the rest of this, early on, this Raw was actually really good. I thought that the flow of this the flow of this Raw was good. I thought it flowed really good. I thought that the segments were layered. It was layered and structured really well. It felt very, very clean. It didn't feel sloppy. It didn't feel like it was all over the place. It was very consistent, most of it. Especially like the first 85% of the show. So I really enjoyed it. So that's pretty much it for this particular Raw. Chris Jericho returning was the big news and not saying anything. So kind of a very mocking, pseudo mysterious kind of promo. We still didn't get who the she was. The female girl in the promo, in the vignettes or whatever. We still don't know who she is. So there's still a lot of questions here, but there's still, what's going to happen with Dolph Ziggler? Is Dolph Ziggler eventually going to become WWE champion? Is he going to be going to WrestleMania? That's interesting in and of itself. So there's a lot of things to be excited about. I think that this Raw definitely, for the most part, was very watchable. So that's it for this episode of the Review Space. That's it for my review. And, let me know what you guys thought of this particular Raw. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Check out the rest of the channel. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'm sizzling. And until next time, ciao!